Counter-Strike has a very high skill ceiling, and the harder the lobbies get, the more apparent your skill level becomes. Whether you're a newer player, an average player, or above average player, let me show you some common mistakes I've seen and done, and how to fix the problems the best way possible so you can hurry up and play the game. Number 1, not warming up. A lot of people play to win, obviously, but what I mean by that is that even a decent Counter-Strike player will take a moment to warm up their aim before hopping into a game. When you hop straight into a game trying to warm up, you spend 40 to 50 minutes getting a few kills and mostly dying and waiting around, not engaging yourself in consistent training. You'd be much better off using an aim trainer or a warm-up map for 3 to 5 minutes and get those neurons firing. Imagine condensing that whole 40-50 minute game where you're not warmed up into a quick warm-up that'll take you 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and that makes your first game play much better. Number 2, being noisy. Being loud can lose you the round in a lot of situations. Be wary of movements that do and don't make noise. Some of the actions that make noise are reloading, jumping, dropping, and the Zeus recharging. Any player with a decent headset and common knowledge can use sound as information. On your minimap, every noise that can be heard by enemy players will show up as a ring. Anyone inside that ring most likely heard the sound that you made, and if you know that they know, you can plan accordingly. When you hear gunshots nearby, or a lot of utility is making noise, you can use those windows of sound to make your own sounds and still stay stealthy. And if your cover is blown, don't keep walking, you're wasting your time. You're an easier target to hit, and you'd be better off just fighting them. Number 3, always spraying. When you see an enemy, you might think the best thing to do is start spraying. Problem is, spraying is only effective up close, especially with rifles. When you're out of close range, about this far away, you'd want to start doing some controlled bursts. Aim for the chin and fire 6 to 8 rounds before resetting your shot. And the further away, the less shot you want to use in the burst, until you get to 1 tap range. You'd be surprised how many more fights you can win just by being calm and using the right firing method. Just because you shoot first doesn't mean you're going to win, so take your time and do it right. Number 4, letting teammates die. Another thing I see a lot, especially in lower ranks, is a player camping and waiting when they should be with their team helping them win a fight. If a teammate is holding an angle or trying to push in a site that's obviously not a death trap, you should be right beside them in some way, ready to either watch an angle while your teammate clears or avenge your teammate, evening the amount of players. That's called trading. If your teammate's gonna die, don't let it be for nothing. Trading could get your team into a site and gain map control. Number 5, using utility at the wrong time. Relying on your utility as people are approaching could get you killed. It takes forever to throw anything. Look at this shit. Instead, use your utility as a way to set up situations and not a way to attack or defending a rushing enemy. Here's an example. You can launch a Molotov into apartments when you hear enemies near kitchen, and you have the lineup ready and you can safely retreat. If you hear them already in the hallway, or you don't have a lined up shot, you wouldn't want to risk throwing it, since an enemy can rush you while you're going through the longest animations in existence. I'm not saying you won't ever have the time to use utility in this way, just be mindful of the risk when throwing utility while enemies are around. Number 6, crosshair placement. Aiming is arguably one of the hardest things about Counter-Strike. With the fast time to kill, a player with good aim can hold a sight solo against 3 players with bad aim. But there's a secret to being more accurate. If you try to use your wrist and manually aim for every enemy's head, you'll have to get lucky to get that kill. Instead, use your arm to aim and your wrist to micro adjust. It might be uncomfortable, but once you have that down, you'll already be more accurate. To be even more accurate, have your crosshair head level where you think an enemy could be or show up. This way, you can work less on aiming, since your crosshair is already near or even on the enemy, and focus more on your counter strafing and recoil control. Lastly, number 7, reloading after every kill. With the fast time to kill, reloading after you've killed 1 or 2 enemies can be horrible. Even if you only have a few bullets left, you should wait until you're sure you can reload, since the enemy can hear when you reload. And most of the time, you should expect the enemy to re-peek a corner and get the trade, like I had said earlier. The better you get at controlling your firing method and getting headshots, the more often you'll find yourself with lots of ammo to spare. Leave any tips in the comments for others so we can discuss. If you learned something, be sure to subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.